The next year I went back for my 19-year-old year and I had 91 points as a defenseman. And great, I'm here telling you all the story, pat myself on the back, but the important part is I really wasn't a fighter. I really wasn't that tough. I didn't mind playing hard. Yeah, I didn't mind playing hard, and I had a little bit in me, but I got drafted that year at 19 to the Vancouver Canucks. We were in Quebec City. I think it was the last thing they did before they moved. And I remember just, I was excited. Go down to the draft table, and Pat Quinn's shaking my hand, and I'm looking up at him. And I knew right then, he's like, where do we get this guy? Like, look at the little defenseman back in the day. There's no chance.
Where's the rest of you?
Yeah, he's no chance.
Pat like big guys.
Right, there's no chance he's playing. So long story short, I go to the American League in Hamilton. I put up, I don't even know, somebody would know better. It was over 200 or 300 minutes. Went to Syracuse, put 200 or 300 minutes in penalties, made the All-Star game as a defenseman in Syracuse. Got called up to the NHL as a right winger, and the story's history. But I never played defense again, and after I played in the NHL right wing, and I never played right wing before that. My point was, when they called me, they said, we're going to call you up, but it's to play right wing. And I said, I'll fill the water balls, whatever you want, I'm on my way. And I left, and I went and played, and everybody believes or thinks that I was a fighter and I was a tough guy, and I did enjoy that part of it. But for some trivia somewhere, I actually finished in the top 25 or 26, I think I was tied for in scoring one year in the National Hockey League. And to me, I think that's a big deal.
That's huge. No, you were that combination, dude. I watched you play plenty. Both Elliotte and I did. The one thing that I've always felt about you, and I feel about this about a lot of people actually, Bruce Boudreau is always referred to as the hockey lifer. Mm-hmm. Like from day one, this guy was born to be and stay in hockey. Have you always felt that way? Because I look at you and I say, yeah, Scott Walker's a hockey lifer.
Well, I laugh.
He's in
anybody who knows me, my wife's over here, she's a brainiac in school and did university in 4 years in a 5-year program. She did...
That's a fine, by the way.
She basically got me through high school. I spent 3 years in grade 10 math, and she got me through it. But my point is, she would be the first...
Math is hard, man.
Yeah, especially hard. They change it every year. Yeah, like every year I went back, it was really something new.
That trigonometry was brutal.
But my point is schooling was not for me, and I loved hockey. First of all, I think that's another important thing for the young people in the room. If you have your kid and you're playing hockey, and yes, we do all these things for sports, and we push them to train them and do everything. If they don't love the game, they really have a very, very, very little chance of making it. You have to love the game. It's too hard. It's way too hard. There's too many setbacks. There's too many negative things. If you don't love the game and love the down times as much as you do the great times, it's almost impossible to make it. So, but I will tell you, I love coming to these things. I love Bruce Boudreau. I love talking about hockey. I'm so excited because I can pick up my phone. I got Paul Coffey, golfs at 7 o'clock almost every day up in Overenberg and the Muskokas. I get to play with him or see him once in a while. I have Wendell Clark's phone number. Trevor Linden, I talked on the way here. And I'm not telling you that because I'm name dropping. I get excited when I see them call. I'm like, oh my God, Trevor Linden's calling me. Oh yeah, he's a partner in some buildings I have, but or Wendell Clark's calling me. So I get as giddy as you guys. I mean, Paul Henderson stories. I had a coach, a good friend of mine here at Jacob Hespler, Hadaway, who passed away of cancer. Paul Henderson spent weeks and weeks without fanfare coming down and talking to him and meeting with him. So to me, I get excited still meeting you guys and talking to you guys. Don Cherry.
Aim higher than us, Scotty.
I just love the hockey world. I love the people in it.
Yeah.
So give us your best Bruce Boudreau story.
Oh, Bruce is the best. I mean, honestly, I played for him. I could tell you stories forever, but one time last year, I'll never forget. I don't even know if it's a bad story to say, but it was so funny.
It's a good story. Just tell everybody.
We're on the bench, and you guys know him a little bit better, but he can get a little bit frantic, and the players are like yelling, "Who's up? Who's up?" And he's like, "Who's up? Who's up?" I'm like, "Well, you're the coach." Like he started yelling with them, like, "Who's up? Who's up?" I'm like, I looked over, I was just giggling. We had a great time. This guy, you know what I say? People always ask me how does he win so much and how great of it. He's not the best tactician I ever played for. He's not the best motivational speaker I ever played for or coach with, but I can tell you, every coach, Mike would tell you, every coach that comes in and tries to sell you about them, yeah. Oh, I care about my players. Even when they're talking to you as players, they're like, I care about you guys. They don't care about you. They care about winning. Literally, that's all the coaches care about. Bruce Boudreau cares about his players. It's amazing. Like, this guy would do anything for his players, and when he talks to them he is involved and he is invested in the player, and I swear that's what players care about the most nowadays. We played in New Jersey, Game 7, and it was 2-1 late in the game, I think. I could be wrong in the score, but late, like under 2 minutes. Eric Stahl goes down the wing, fires far side on Marty Boudreau, which should never went in, tie it up 2-2. So I'm literally on the bench thinking, I wonder where I'm going to go for the year-end holiday, and maybe pack up the house. I'm literally thinking this. I was probably playing on up and down the lineup. And so we score, and I'm like, oh man, we're going to overtime. This is awesome. We're going to overtime, Game 7. This is going to be amazing. And next thing you know, we scored like with 30 seconds left, and we won. It just happened so quick that you didn't really have a chance to think about pressure or anything. Yep. So then we go to Boston, underdogs, and I punched Darren Ward in the face. I got $2,500 fine for that. Didn't suspend it, $2,500. In Game 5, Boston Bruins fans were throwing beer at me, and it was crazy. And then
did you drink it when they threw
it? No,
I
was. There's a lot of other things I was worried about. Sean Thornton, Milan Lucic, Chara. I wasn't worried about the fans. So, so we leave there. I come back. I don't get suspended. I'm playing Game 7, and I think there's a coach in Kitchener. I think there's a defenseman that was chasing me down. The goalie makes a save, bunts the puck out in front, and I bat it out of midair, and we score in Game 7 overtime winner. First and only playoff goal I ever scored, so that was exciting. And then we had the great pleasure of going underdog, Game 7, Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh beats us 4 straight, but there's a really good story. There's always funny stories you don't hear about in hockey because we always talk about the superstars, but I'll never forget, we were just trying to slow guys down. So I was going after Malkin one game in Pittsburgh, and I had him lined up, and I took his knee out kind of with a dirty hip check, kind of late play. It wasn't really bad. I didn't get a penalty or anything, but it was not good.
Scott, there are people going to be thinking you're the dirtiest player alive when we leave this room.
I was trying to win. But anyways, long story short, he got up, was so mad, scored a hat trick that game, and some of the goals in that series, you got to watch Malkin's goals, are insane. Scores a hat trick that game, they beat us out 4 straight, and I was going home. But the whole point of the story is it's not easy. That was the furthest I'd ever went in the playoffs. It was a lot of fun, but it can just be over like that.